going on, everyone? Viking Warlord back. We got a new video up talking about some AEW Fight Forever. It's dropping at the end of the month, June 29th, June 28th, if you pre-ordered it. I pre-ordered the Elite Edition, so I will have coverage and footage of that coming out as soon as we get our hands on the game. I've been looking forward for this game to drop for years. I'm sure everybody out there has. I got a couple of just random clips in the back, got some Retromania, got some WWE 2K19 coming up. Just going to let that footage play in the background as I babble about my thoughts on how AEW is turning out. So I've been watching the footage out there. There's a lot of people getting good coverage. Chris Danker, Kenny Baum has some good stuff too. So if you guys like checking out some different content creators, I recommend those two. They get good footage out on wrestling games. So shout out to them. Anyway, we've had a lot of drops now with the characters and, you know, people saying this, that, and the third about how the game's looking. I'm excited. I grew up when I was in middle school, high school, you know, my formative gaming years of playing the Nintendo 64 and the PlayStation 1, I think, or was it 2? So I had the WCW. What's the first one? Before Revenge. WCW versus the World, I think, was the first one. Then we got WCW Revenge. Then we got WrestleMania 2000. Then we got WWF No Mercy. I was playing Def Jam, Vendetta. God, those were great games. Def Jam Fight for New York. On the PlayStation, I had WCW versus the World, which was, I think, Asmic. Asmic Ace developed that. That game was sweet. It wasn't as good as, Revenge and stuff, but it was similar, and I thought that game was awesome for, the PlayStation. Like, Power Move Wrestling on PlayStation 1. I don't know, man. I've been around the block. I've been playing all these games, and it was just a great time for wrestling. The games had good flow. I never got Virtual Pro Wrestling or Virtual Pro Wrestling 2. I wanted them really bad, but my friend had it, and he had to have like a translation guide to get through the menus and all that. And I was like, dude, I want to, but I think I'll just stick with the ones we got. But man, Virtual Pro Wrestling 2, if they would have done like a translated version of that, oh, I would have been all over that. I remember they had the Tokyo Dome as like a arena, and I wanted to play in that so bad. I think Vader was in the game too in Virtual Pro Wrestling 2, so I was just, I don't know, man. I really wanted to play that. So anyway, so we got our AEW stuff coming out, and it's like, from the gameplay, it looks like it plays a lot. I'm not saying it looks exactly like the old games, but it looks like the flow of the matches with the spirit meter back instead of the health bar and the limb damage. It looks like it plays a lot like the No Mercy, the Aki stuff, which is enough for me personally to buy it and try it out. Because, like I said, I kind of listed off my pedigrees for wrestling games, and if it's going to play anything like that, I think I'm going to like it. The Road to the Elite mode looks great. If you can, if we can play through that, bang it out in like an hour or two, and then play with a different character and have some branching story modes, like that's going to be endless replay value if you have an imagination, And I don't know how, to be honest, I don't know how gamers are these days. That's all I needed back in the day, was create a wrestler, take him through story mode, and kind of feel like he's a part of the game and interacting with the wrestlers in the story mode, and then unlocking some stuff. You used to, like, if you, I think in Revenge, like, Kurt Hennig was the TV title champion in the story mode. So if you beat that match and won the TV title, you'd unlock Kurt Hennig in the game. And then, when No Mercy came about, they had the shop, and you could also, with your, like how it is in AEW, how it looks, is that, you win your in-game currencies, and then you can unlock kind of the, they might have, the Big Show, Paul White, he might be 100,000 credits, and then you can unlock him in the game and have him in your roster. Like, I like that, because it gives me something to work for. I know, okay, I gotta keep grinding these matches out so I can get a new character. Now, I think that Battlegrounds, I was hoping was going to be this throwback, and sadly that game was lacking. But I didn't mind the graphics on Battlegrounds. I just didn't like how it was all flashy and it was too arcadey, if that makes sense. If it would have been more of a grounded wrestling game with just that cartoony look and everyone had their own, more of their own moveset, I think I would have liked Battlegrounds. Because like I said, growing up in the PlayStation 1, where everyone had like a pyramid head from the polygons and stuff, like, I'm not that big of a graphics junkie. Like, I can find fun in games that aren't, that, you know what I mean, aren't all glitz and glam and photorealistic. That doesn't bother me, and that might just be because I'm a semi-older gamer. So I understand, people are saying, oh, well, AEW looks like a PS2 game, which I don't think it does. I just think it looks like a more stylized, not cartoony, but somewhat cartoony type of a graphic style, which, look at cartoons and animes and stuff, like, everything has its own style and its own look. So you just might not like it, which is fair. But when I see the gameplay of AEW, like, I'm like, holy crap, another wrestling game that looks like it's going to be pretty fluid and have the mechanics that I loved growing up. I love the matches where you beat on guys' legs and, they're selling it. They get up and they're kind of hobbled, holding their knee, and they can't move fast anymore because you wore them down. Like, that's how, you watch Bret Hart fight in the 90s. I mean, he was the technician, man. He would lay into a leg the whole match. It would be like, say they're doing an hour match on pay-per-view. He would just be laying into those legs the whole time. And if the guy was selling it, the announcers were talking about, oh, his legs have taken so much damage. It's like, that's the best, man. It is believable in the sense of pro wrestling. It's like, holy crap, Bret Hart's going to break his legs. They're going to have to roll him out of the arena on a stretcher because he can't walk. Like, I love that crap in wrestling. That to me is at the peak form of wrestling, when you can get it over that you're beating a guy till his legs don't work. It's like, that's the storytelling right there. That's how you get those 5-star matches, when you're like, man, these guys have had knockdown, drag out matches at all times. So, I'm rambling now, but so that's what I'm looking for with this new engine, and I hope that they were able to capture like that Aki feel, because in the Aki games you could do that. I used to beat on guys' legs with chairs, and I would do all the like lower grapple moves, dragon screws, till they were hobbling around the ring. And you could pick apart their body. Then you're doing their body damage, and we haven't seen it yet. But remember, you could KO them. So if you do like so much body damage, or like arm damage, they would tap out in 2 seconds because you had worn their arms down so much that you just slap that submission on, and yeah, their arms have no whatever. They tap like immediately, and that's just such a great flow. To me, it's like a believable, realistic system, more than these quote-unquote simulation games like WWE 2K. I mean, that's the flow of the matches, whatever. So I'm hoping that the AI versus AI simulations are good in the AEW game, so I can sim matches and have them play out believably, because that's my jam. is I like tweaking, if you look back at my past wrestling videos on this channel, I am I like to tweak the attires, give people gimmicks that I like or whatever, and then sim matches and see how it goes, and I don't, it's not everybody's thing, but then I just hope that the simulations do good spots and good whatever, and a lot of times I'll simulate a match 10 times and, pick the best match out of all that. So, I mean, like, when you see the videos that are up on my channel, I might have been simming that match for 2 hours to get one that I think is really good. It doesn't always work out because, like I said, the AI is not always perfect in these games. But I'm hoping that AEW is like that. And, some of the complaints with the entrances, yeah, the short entrances kind of suck, but they don't. It's not like they just walk out and it just shows them and it goes away. I mean, there's a little bit of personality to it, but if there's an option there, I've heard buzz on the internet that the option is in there to have full entrances. I'm turning that on. That I'm going to be a full entrance guy to build up the match. If it's not, maybe they can patch it in down the line. If people say, yo, we want full entrances, maybe that's something they can add. 6 months down the line, they'll patch it in and everyone will have full. But that's what I like about this game, too, is when we buy this game, a year from now, who knows what they're going to add? I mean, if they deliver on the promise where they're doing this is the release and they're just going to, have seasons or whatever, we don't need a sequel. If they keep improving it and maybe they improve the shaders, improve the graphics, add better lighting, as the game goes on, once they start seeing that it's going to be a hit, which is why I pre-ordered it, because I like wrestling games. I have, Retromania on here. I have the AAW, that cartoony wrestler. Like every wrestling game, I give a chance because I love wrestling and wrestling games. And I grew up with them, and they were my mainstay. And you can get so much value out of a wrestling game. Like I said, I played Battlegrounds. It wasn't my jam, but I gave it a good whirl. I tried to unlock the characters, and, they kind of nickel and dime me, too, on that because you had to play so much to get enough. There's no way I was going to unlock all those attires and all those figures because that was a grind and a half. But if they would have given you more points to unlock stuff, I think that would have made me like it better. And the Creator Wrestler was cool, but I don't know. Another thing about the Creator Wrestler, so I don't mind a limited Creator Wrestler. Fire Pro Wrestling, you pick from heads and body parts, and you splice them all together, and then you get those formulas for the Creator Wrestlers. But now with Fire Pro World, you can share that, and you can download other people's stuff. That doesn't bother me, that there isn't a community or creations, because hopefully people make videos. It gives the content creators something to do. If you make a good creative character and you got the formula, throw it up online, get your shine. People like your video and stuff. So that's kind of a cool thing. That's kind of, I don't know. It gives people something to do to try to make good creative stuff, but it's less convenient for the people that just want to download it. So I understand that criticism too. What I like about, so I think why they did this, if you remember the Aki games, you could put anyone's attire on any character and change the colors. So you could put what do we got? We got Christian and Bryan Danielson fighting here. Like I could make a Creator Wrestler and have Christian's pants on him because you could swap it and you could dress, you could have the Big Show and put Christian's pants on him and make them a tag team, they got the same attire. I like that idea. So I think that's kind of the way they're going on the shop, and I like that. It's a throwback. I remember in Revenge, I used to deck everybody out in the NWO shirts, like Hulk Hogan, or not Hulk Hogan, but the people that weren't in NWO that I liked, I would put them in an NWO shirt, and all of a sudden they were part of NWO. It was awesome. I like that. So I think that's why the characters are kind of the similar size. If you look, the Big Show is a little bit bigger, but he's not super big. I think that's because of the parts that, the parts are kind of universal, the attires and the stuff. And you won't get weird clipping when they move in the animations because everybody's model and structure is kind of the same, so all that stuff fits on everybody, which is cool, I think. As long as there's a little differentiation, I think it's good. But I'm coming down to the end of the vid here, but anyway, so I'll put another video out. If you like my little discussion about it, please leave a comment and, tell me what your thoughts are on the game. The graphics, people, I understand, but I don't think it's going to be a game breaker. If the game plays like it looks kind of and it's fun, I think it's going to be not one to miss. And I think that you'll overlook that when you realize how fun it is. And you might not be old enough to remember the games back in the day. Like I was saying, that was my jam. That was when I grew up. So they were fun. So let me know what you think if you're excited. I'm going to have content coming out. I have this game pre-ordered, the Elite Edition. So we're just waiting, people. So stick with me if you like my vids. And we got more to come in the future. Take care. Thanks for watching. I'm still alive, and we'll be back with more content later. Take care, y'all. Viking out.
Great match. Thank you for tuning in tonight, folks. We hope you